Okay. One of favorite, my favorite number one go-to series. Um, it's very long. I love the character progression from book to book to book. As I've said, I'm a series person. I love series. We solve a murder each book, and the characters progress from book to book to book. And welcome to the D. Louise series. I'm Christina Kristina, and I read books and I talk books. So today we are talking about my favorite author, and like I said previously, um, I have all of the books, all of them, and even the short novellas in between. If you've gone back through my videos, you will see that I've done all of the books to this point, including the novellas. So please check out all my JD Robb, Eve Dallas videos. So today, calculated in death. There you go. Calculated in death. Eve Dallas is a lieutenant in the New York City Police Security Department. She's in her second year of marriage, and she's married to the richest guy in the world. We have been through most of her childhood angst to this point. We kind of did a huge chunk of it in New York to Dallas. You can go check out all these videos. She was in this foster program. She wasn't used to social situations. She wasn't used to getting presents or giving presents or any of that kind of stuff. And her regular parents did horrible things to her, especially her biological father. And we met her biological mother in New York to Dallas, and that whole situation kind of played out, and she was having bad dreams. So we've kind of surpassed all that. So that's really good that we've gotten past all that. And so Eve is a lieutenant in New York City Police and Security Department. Her partner is Peabody. Ian McNabb is Peabody's house partner, living partner, cohab. He also works, he's a detective in the electronics detectives division. Feeney is his boss, he's captain. He was also Eve's mentor, and like I said, he is now captain of EDD. Rourke is her husband. Mavis is her best friend, and hopefully soon, or in the later books anyway, we will start talking about Mavis and how they met and all the grift and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of getting old. But Mavis is currently a rock star. Her husband is Leonardo. He's a huge fashion designer. Whitney is the commander, and Mira is the department shrink. She's also a close friend of Eve's. Nadine First is a reporter, a crime reporter. She has now advanced to the point where she has her own show. She calls it This Is Now, What's Happening Now in Crime, blah, blah, blah. She has also, if you followed the book series and come through with me, we've done, she's wrote a book about the Ive Cove case, and it has made, it was a book, it was made into the movie, and the movie is coming out in this particular book. So we followed Nadine through her path. So character progression, character growth, even McNabb's character growth, Mavis and Leonardo's character growth, the whole 9 yards. And in this book, we catch up with Baxter and Trueheart, and we get some more information from them. So in this book, Marta Dickinson was murdered on her way home from work, and it was made to look like a mugging gone wrong. But there are certain things that Eve discovers that makes her believe that it was a premeditated situation. So she starts to investigate. She does interviews with the family members, including Denzel, her husband, and her sister-in-law, Jennifer Young, who is a judge, who was in a couple of books ago with the guy that killed the captain's daughter, and they had to go out, the elderly lady. We've met Young before. So we always make fun, or Eve is forever getting common expressions wrong. And I think Jay Nora has fun with that, and I think the readers have fun with that too. We love when Eve says something and half the world's got to correct her. So one of those little sayings is in the book, and I'll just take a piece of it because I love these things. She's talking to Peabody, and she goes, "I want EDD on the electronics as soon as we get the insurance information. I want a sweep on the items she was wearing. Wedding ring, wrist unit, the coat. We'll talk to the husband later, see if he remembers the earrings and the scarf Young claimed she had worn." He couldn't take any more on the first pass. Started run on the workplaces, looking for anything that links them and links either or both to Whitestone's company. There's got to be something there. If this is a random kill, I'm a monkey's cousin. Uncle. What? It's a monkey's uncle, and before you ask, no, I don't know why, because really, on the elevation train, cousin's about right. What the hell do I care? I'm just saying. Eve spared Peabody a glance as she turned to cut across town. The blocks went smooth and fast, too early for pedestrians to swarm the sidewalks and crosswalks, too late for the rapid cabs packed with the club hoppers and partygoers. I just had to throw that in there. Then we all enjoy, now I don't know if it's been brought up to this point, I think it has, but we all, Eve's fear of vending machines. It's an honest to fear of vending machines. She does. Now, I don't think it's done yet. It may be done, but I have to, when we go through the books, we'll find it. But Rook has installed an auto chef in her office. But the only thing Eve ever uses it for, up till this point, I believe, is coffee. So she always has a fear of vending machines. Eve pushed and dodged her way through Central at change of shift. Cops going off tour, coming on, or those like her who caught something and were trying to get in or out to follow up. She stopped by vending to study her choices, decided they all sucked, and settled for something laughingly billed as Blueberry Danish. She plugged in her code, her selection, and got nothing but a grumming hum and blinking lights. "Come on, bitch," she repeated the process, and this time a few weak peeps. Damn it, I knew it wouldn't last. Her poor history with machines haunted her, and now she wanted that damn anemic-looking excuse for breakfast pastry on a matter of principle. She gave the machine a solid kick. Warning, warning. I always hear that. What was that space show? That kid's space show with the robot? I forget. Vandalism or physical force on this machine or any others on the premises can result in termination of vending privileges for a period of 30 to 90 days. Please insert coin, credit, or authorized code and your selection. That's what I did, you useless piece of junk. She reared back to kick it again. Hey, Dallas, Baxter, the slickest dresser of her detective, strolled up. Problem? This miserable pile of junk won't give up that blob of crap disguised as a Danish. Allow me. Whistling between his teeth, Baxter keyed in his own code, selected the Danish. It slid smoothly into the slot. Eve eyed it while the machine cheerfully listed its mega-syllable ingredients and dubious nutritional value. There you go, LT. Baxter pulled it out, offered it. My treat. How do they know it's me? Why do they care? Maybe it's a body chemistry, something to do with the energy. That sounds like bullshit. Well, you got the Danish. Thanks for that. So Trueheart and I closed the double murder ex-girlfriend who didn't want to be the ex. She toggled back in her mental files, the bludgeoning in Chelsea. Yeah, he continued as they walked. Beat them both to shit and back again with a tire iron. I figured she didn't want to be ex, hired somebody or sexed somebody into doing it. That kind of damage. You don't expect a woman. And they go on a little bit. And then we get to another piece of character progression, another piece of character growth. Like I said, I love the character growth to go from book to book. We may solve a murder mystery from book to book, but I like to read the characters as they grow, as they progress, like a soap opera. That's how I feel. And we have the characters grow from book to book. So we all love Chuha. And whoa Chuha from Promises and Death. If you haven't read it, you won't get the reference. So yeah, I'm leaving it up to the boy to follow up there. We both figured her for involvement, but he's the one who saw her with the tire iron swinging for the fences. He paused a moment, and knowing there was more, Eve waited. He's lost his green, Dallas. Well, he's one of those who will probably always be fresh, but you know what I mean. He's earned a shot at detective. She'd promised to consider it, and though Baxter's second pass was a little ahead of schedule, she couldn't fault his logic. The first of the year. If he wants it, he can take the exam then. That'll give him time to get a little more experience under his belt and study up. Let him know you've done good with him, Baxter. He's gold, boss. I figured him mostly for ballast when you tossed him my way, but he's gold. I appreciate it. Prime him, she warned him. The exam is not for pussies. He's a sweetheart, but he ain't no pussy. When they walked into the bullpen, things were already hopping. She gave Peabody the come ahead and kept moving into her office, where Eve headed straight for the auto chef and coffee. Like I said, she only thinks of her auto chef for coffee. So then Eve starts to investigate all the people involved in Marta's life, including the man Whitestone and Alva that found her. And if I can, I don't know if I can, but I wanted to look for a picture, and I couldn't. There's gazillions and zillions of these things in New York, and I couldn't find what I liked. But then, like I said about Nadine, uh, like I said about character progression from book to book to book, the movie's coming out. So Eve is talking to Peabody, and I know how to behave, Peabody buffed. I'm in a vid, you know. I have a scene with the vid stars. I'm going to a premiere, and I didn't have to score tickets. They were given to me. If you read the previous book, Celebrity and Death, you know that Peabody and McNabb got cameos. Mavis got cameos in the movie. So they're in the physical movie. Yeah, come on, you have to be a little juiced. Mavis said the dress Leonardo designed for you is mag to the extreme. She remembered vaguely it was magenta, according to Leonardo, who sided with Robb when she said she already had fancy dresses, and why couldn't she just wear black anyway? Like I said, Eve grew up in the foster system, and she's just not used to this type of. She's like, wow, Eve would go in a t-shirt and jeans if she could. But everybody else is going to take care of her and make sure she dresses appropriately. I don't know why they have to make such a fuss over a vid. You got to it, you watch it, and eat popcorn. It's us. Plus, Peabody added slyly, knowing her target, it's really important to Nadine. Nadine first, ace reporter, screen personality, best-selling author, and damn it, friend. No getting around it. I'm going, aren't I? We're going to look fantabulous, mixed with celebrities, and we actually know them, and walk the red carpet like stars. I think I'm going to be sick. Not in my vehicle, and right now I'm just a little more concerned with who the hell killed Marta Dickinson than standing around on some stupid red carpet while people gape at me. Peabody wisely neglected to mention the pre-premiere prep, and Mavis had already worked out, including hair and makeup by Trina. Eve is petrified of Trina. Don't know really why, but Trina comes and does her hair and makeup, and Rock pays her well. And she's just. They get a little work through it in the next couple books. There's a book where Trina's totally involved. But so you get a little. I love the character progression. I love the interaction between Eve and Peabody. And Susan Erickson, Susan Erickson, Susan Susan Erickson is the bomb. She's the greatest. I can listen to her for hours upon hours because I love my Peabody, McNabb, Feeney, Whitney, Mira. Oh, we also get special appearances by Harpo, the Queen of Hair and Fiber, and Morris and Mira also make appearances in the book. So Eve goes to interview one of the Delilah. She's a client of Marta's. Marta was an accountant. And Delilah has a panther cub who gives Galahad a little reason to be annoyed with Eve. The cat in question tried it over, started to rub against her leg. He froze, arched, sniffing at her with a wild gleam in his bicolored eyes. Then he backed up, stared at her, and hissed, "Hey! Apparently it's you he doesn't appear to think worth the effort." For a moment she was puzzled and mortified. This was her cat, and he very genuinely saved her life twice. Now he stood like a bloated version of a Halloween cat, back arched, hair on end, snarling. And then she remembered the panther cub. "It's not my fault. I was conducting an interview. She had a freaking baby panther. I didn't invite it over for milk and kibble." Galahad, obviously finding her excuse as lame as her daily insult, turned away, stuck up his tail in a non-verbal "F you," and padded back to Somerset. "Fine, be that way." Grumbling to herself, she stalked upstairs. "Who brought you into this cat palace anyway?" She soaked her way to the bedroom, stopped long enough to turn to the house comp. "Where's Rourke?" "Good evening, darling Eve. Rourke is not in residence at this time." Fine. So she couldn't even bitch about the cat to her husband. She stepped onto the platform, sat on the edge of the bed to take off her boots, kicked them aside. The hell with it. She managed before she crawled on, lay face down on the bed, and tuned out. Poor Galahad. His mommy was near another cat. And I always liked as I've mentioned in previous videos, Eve would live on pizza and burger and popcorn and coffee if she could. But Rourke always makes a point of making sure she eats correctly. In years past, the closest Eve came to a real cow meat steak on a Cobb salad was an anemic soy burger. She'd have matched that with fake fries, burying them in salt, and been fine with it. Now a perfectly grilled New York strip sat on her plate beside actual fried potatoes piled like golden shoestrings and crispy green beans mixed with sliver almonds. Not a bad deal. But the better one, better than real meat and potatoes, was having someone sitting across from her she could run through the case with. In those years past, most of her meals, such as they were, had been eaten alone or on the fly. Maybe she'd catch something with Mavis, and there'd been plenty of crappy food chowed down with another cop. But sitting here in her own home with a real meal and a man who not only listened but got it, she'd won life's trifecta. Aww. So, Sly Givens calls Eve about a break-in at his firm. And then she's interviewing some other people. And this little point comes up in reference to the other book, which I thought was worth it. One of the interviewers looks at Peabody and says, "Can I ask you a question?" And Peabody's like, "All right. Was it totally surreal investigating the murder of the woman who plays you in the vid? She sort of looked like you, especially in publicity shots. It had to be really weird." In her curvy chair, Letitia just sighed. It was strange, yes, and a total scandal which just adds delicious juice. Don't roll your eyes, Tisha, it does. I'll kill to go to the New York premiere. I don't mean literally, she said. I'm sorry, I actually nervous and I don't get nervous. I have no nerves, except now I do. I've never been interviewed by the police, and then it's you, the Icove police, Rourke's cop, and I'm pretty sorry, but I seriously love your boots, she said to Peabody. And Eve Eve is has a prediction later on somewhere. I don't know if it's this book or the next. I think it's the next. No, it might be this book where she's been fighting the past couple of years. She totally believes that she is New York City Police and Security's cop, but the world sees her as Rourke's cop. And after the movie comes out, she's not only going to be Rourke's cop, she's going to be the Icove cop, and she's just so annoyed by the whole thing. Her friends and family just think it's massive cool, but Eve is so annoyed by the whole thing. It's just one little. It's another thing. It's like the vending machine. You got to have fun with it. So then I love this little conversation between her and Feeney later on in the book. And it's just another thing of character progression from book. Hey, he called as she started out. The wife says I have to rent a monkey suit for the premiere thing. I don't know, Feeney. Mira just told me she made her husband buy a new one. What kind of crazy shit is this? Who needs to wear a monkey suit to watch a damn vid? I've got to wear a dress and stilts and put crap all over my face. Don't cry to me because you have to wear a tux. Crazy shit, he complained. F.A., she agreed and went on her way. I love it. So then Eve and Peabody are talking about the case. And you will hear about this particular scene for a while. The bad guy tries to. There are two bad guys. Sort of spoiler alert. One of the bad guys tries to kill Eve in the park, and to defend himself, he picks up a baby and throws it. And this is an awesome scene. It's like several pages. You'll have to check it out. I don't want to read the whole thing to you, but the from this point on, everybody's gonna go nice catch because she caught the baby full. And the only thing that saved her life was the magic coat, which shall come into play in later books to a big extent. So it's awesome. And then we have one of the Wynn guys, Jake Ingersoll, gets killed. And then Marlo Dunn, if you read Celebrity in Death, you know that Marlo Dunn is the one, she plays Eve in the movie, comes by and invites Eve and Rourke to stand up for her, to be their matron and best man. So there again is more character progression. And Eve decides if she's going to go to this premiere thing, she might as well catch a murderer. So she sets up a whole sting, has Nadine come and interview her. It's so good. It is just a really good book. I enjoy the heck out of it. It's catching up with the gang. It's catching up with all the characters. It's following the book from characters from book to book to book. I love the progression. Hello. Hello. How you? How's my boy? A girl chased him by. He's afraid of girls. So, like I said, we catch up with Nadine. Nadine comes and does an interview, and everybody knows it was staged. The public doesn't, but anybody that knows Eve knows it was staged. It's a lovely interview with Nadine. Nadine doesn't know, and Eve told her the facts, and they go to the premiere to catch a killer. And there's an iconic picture taken of Eve and Rourke, and that comes to play in later books. It's so cute, but you'll have to check it out. Calculated in Death, and Check out the audiobook too. It's an awesome series. I love this series. It's my favorite series. And I love the character progression from book to book. And I love that we catch up with the characters. So if you're Peabody, McNabb, Eve, Rock. Oh, and don't forget that Nora Roberts owns the Innsborough Inn. You'll have to check it out online. And all the rooms are named after her major characters. And there is an even Rock room. So check it out, and please hit my like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. It's just me reading books, talking books. There's no special effects, there's no theme music, nothing like that going on here. So please share, please like and subscribe. Please check out all my Eve Dallas videos. I really appreciate it. Thank you.